Good morning.
We are
Good
live
morning. We are live.
from the R.A. Hoy Heating and Air Conditioning Studios, the coolest studios around. Thank you very much,
Yes,
R.A.
they are the
Hoy.
coolest studios around. I forgot to put that on there.
And things look a little different if you're watching us right now. This is kind of a unique day on our calendar every year now. It is Patriot Day.
It is Patriot Day.
Um,
Can I show them the picture?
yeah, you can. We're going
right.
to disappear for a second. We'll be right back.
I always thought that was a really cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea who took it. I can't give anybody credit. All I can say is that I stole it.
For good. It's like
Yep.
Robin Hood, maybe. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't think anybody is going to be upset by that.
Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Perrin.
How are you? How are you?
Yep. I was just reading back, which I'm not going to completely bore you guys with it. Actually, you might find it interesting. It was, hold on, 9 years ago. I wrote this on September 11th of 2015.
Oh, wow.
And I recalled everything that happened that morning and where I was, and just everything about it. And it was pretty interesting. Somebody's eating an orange.
Apparently somebody noticed. Well, I don't know if you have noticed, not to interrupt your story, but I usually this is a snack time for me. If it doesn't bother you guys, I like to have a little orange for a minute or two and a lot of coffee. So anyway.
No, he's eating. No, my chili
It's gone.
It's gone.
Well, it smelled better than that looked.
It was really good. I not to brag, but I got really good chili, and I think it'll keep up with Cindy. Yep. That's good morning, Victoria. So I've shared my recipe before, which we still got to get that book together.
Yes, we do.
But I have not had that many people send in recipes.
We have a growing list of things that we need to finish.
Yes.
I hate having that hanging over our heads.
But
sometimes.
with the cookbook thing, we can't just. And my
absolutely, Gary, agree.
With my whatever with the list of recipes I have,
right,
or that I've only gathered a few from outsiders, not me. Yes, it is. That's what I said to Bill. But I don't feel like we'd have a whole book. There's just not enough yet. And I mean, the book can be, 25 pages long. It doesn't have to be, a huge.
Well, you could do
good
sections.
Housekeeping or whatever.
Yeah, specialties.
Yeah,
entrees. Whatever main dishes, desserts,
appetizers, fish, meat, whatever. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we do too.
I do too, because I don't have that many recipes that I've gathered. I mean, I have a ton of mine, but I don't want it to be Cindy's cookbook.
No.
And then Bill he tells me about a lot of recipes and what he fixed. Yes. See, that's kind of how. Now with my chili, other than like the dash of the red pepper flakes and the red or the black pepper that I put, everything else I know exactly what I'm putting in. Sweet potato topped with pulled pork,
in
Jack and cheddar, bacon and chive.
I'm in.
Top it with sour cream.
Stop the show.
Okay, that sounds kind of.
That sounds
really
awesome.
Good.
That sounds
All
awesome.
Right, you're having a party. I guess my invite got lost in the mail. No, just kidding. Actually,
invite yourself to a party.
Thursday is going to be a long day for me because I have to take my daughter.
Invite yourself to a party.
I didn't. I was just asking where my invitation was. I'm just kidding. No, I have to take my daughter back to the airport on Thursday, so it's going to be a long day for me. Gotcha. So it's going to be an early to bed day for me. Except there's football. Oh, I can go. Kitty Hawk is too far to drive back to get to my bed in Manio and go to bed, and then wake up and come back in here on Friday. but thank you. I was just joking with you. We draw that drawing on Friday.
We do. That's
Yes.
right. It's coming up.
We do that on Friday. Not by, I know, but it has to be. That's true. That's very true. Maybe jet ski instead of boat.
True.
Because boat, yeah, jet skis go a little bit better in rougher water. I don't know. But the boat, I thought about that. Somebody was asking me because we were saying 80s this afternoon. Nice. Yeah. It's
inland
supposed to
it
be right
will
around.
be.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a beautiful day on the beach yesterday. I mean, beautiful. I actually kicked back in this position and went, but I think my head was more like this.
Right.
Because this part of my neck is really white.
For real?
Yeah. I got a little sun. I don't know if you guys can tell or not. But I did get sun. Yeah. And right here burned. And right here burned. A little. But not bad. But it's tan now.
You got this great complexion for tanning, though.
I
really do.
I just like that tan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning, Lisa. So no, but we were talking about the whole, Lori, we were talking about the whole how long it would take us to get from our house, we wonder, to go up to like Duck via, if it was smooth, we'd be able to like haul booty.
Oh, okay.
Peppers, tomatoes, and horseradish dishes for your cookbook. I am asking for input. I would like to have, if you have a quote unquote, not secret recipe, but secret recipe, or just a recipe that's really good, that goes over really well when you fixed it. If you want to share it with us, we would give you credit in our cookbook thingy. And we'd like to get, you think it would be about a half hour? I'm thinking that same thing. But I will say this, hold on. All right, I'm sidetracking. What we would like to do, though, is if we get a bunch of recipes together, put them together, make it like a shark cookbook, but have it benefit something,
right? And
actually sell it to people. You could go online and order it or whatever, and we'd ship it to you or whatever. You can come by and pick it up if you're close by, and just basically have it go to some charity. We'd have to all figure out what charity,
right?
But that's what we'd like to do, because the fact that obviously Bill and I love to eat.
Apparently we do. Well, either that, well, nobody love to eat, but we certainly love to talk about food.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that.
We do.
We
love
can
to
talk about food,
and I love to cook. I do. I love to cook. Put me in a kitchen.
I do too, but it takes me too long because I can put a recipe together if I've got it strictly in front of me, but I have not graduated to the level of fixing all of the components of a dinner at the same time. Now I can do rice and, let that do its thing for 20 minutes if I have to, and then go on to something else. But if I'm juggling something that's got to come out of the oven in 8 minutes, and then I've got maybe a skillet on the frying, skillet or something on the stovetop, and
how do you survive doing Thanksgiving then? Because I got all kinds of things going on.
This is the guy that bought the chicken.
That's what. Enough said. Never mind.
For Thanksgiving.
All right. So Lori's.
I thinking it was a turkey.
Yeah, a 5-pound turkey.
Don't laugh at me. It's the truth, though. It
I
happens.
know, but it's so funny.
But it's not quite like you think. Anyway,
multitasking is
true.
That's true. All right. So Lori said we could rotate charities. Gary said St. Jude, and he's in.
Oh, okay.
But on a jet ski, though, real quick, going back to the whole, how long would it take us to go from one place to another? I've had our jet ski wide open at like 50 some odd miles an hour, but it has to be really flat. So if it was
smooth,
if it was really flat one day, I think it would only take like 20. We had fun though. That was a fun day. Okay.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about this backyard barbecue.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Your station for the killer hits 102.5 The Shark. It's the babies. It isn't it time. It is almost time. 8:09 right now. Bill and City in the morning. Killer hits all day. Your shark forecast. Another nice one.
And it's brought to you by Noosa Scoops.
Oh,
Smoothies,
it sure is.
ice cream, coffee, and more. They're on the bypass in KDH, Noosa Scoops. They want to be a regular stop in your daily routine. So kind of check it out. See if you can sneak by there, grab a cup of coffee or some kind of smoothie on your way into work. Noosa Scoops is the official coffee of 102.5.
The Shark.
Hold on.
Give it another taste. It's still as good as yesterday? Yeah, I'd say so.
All right. It's going to be sunny today. High of 78. Look for moderate risks of rip currents along the beaches today. Clear tonight, down to 70 along the coast, 62 inland. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny and 80.
Right now we have 60 in Barco, 57 in Criswell, and 65 in Nags Head at 102.5 The Shark.
All right. So our backyard barbecue. We actually even just got asked by Perrin on our Facebook Live, when are we doing the drawing?
It's coming up.
It is coming up. It's going to be on Friday. So you have today and tomorrow to enter. And that's it. And then one lucky person is going to be able to call up 9 of their buddies and say, yo, you got to come to the house. You got to stop by the crib. I won. I have enough barbecue from Pigman's Barbecue to feed 10 of us with all the fixins. And don't worry about it. If you're thirsty, got you covered on that.
Absolutely.
There's a cooler full, even overflowing with Cheerwine.
An extra Cheerwine on the side.
Extra Cheerwine on the side. And you know what? I got this really cool Cheerwine beach towel.
Oh, that's right.
And I got a Cheerwine backpack.
The swag.
That goes with it. And once we finish all the Pigman's Barbecue,
then what?
And we're stuffed and you have to roll us out the door, we can get together the next week and take your pick of which restaurants around the Outer Banks you want to go to, because I've got over $400 gift certificates.
Does that sound good to you?
$400 in gift certifics.
Sounds
different
good to
places all around the Outer Banks.
How do you get in on this? If you haven't, so easy.
Website 1025theshark.com. There's a thing that says there's a backyard barbecue and you're invited.
Right.
If you click on that, it asks you for 3 or 4 things. Then you push submit and you're in.
It's as easy as that.
And then everybody's going to be thrown into the pot. And then we're going to go, Alexa, pick the number between.
Are we cooking them?
No, we're not going to cook them. No, it's not. It's not that.
I got you.
But we are going to throw everybody's name into a pot.
Right.
And we'll count, of course, how many people are in there. And then we'll say, Alexa, pick a number between 1 and, let's say there's 6,789 people that entered.
And she'll do that too.
And she'll pick a number between 1 and 6,789. And that number, we will find the person that matches that number, and that person will win. All
right. There it is. 1025theshark.com. All the details and your chance to qualify is right there. More killer hits all the way and more winning coming up. Stick around. Today in music and bow time.
Okay.
See what happens.
For the backyard barbecue, you can enter as many times as you want to.
You sure can.
If you want to sit down and keep on typing, you go right ahead. Go. Go on.
All right, hang on. Let me
get at it, your bad self.
Let me get today in music pulled up so that'll be ready. The next break we
you can do that.
Get all that hanging
all
out.
Right.
Okay.
So
cool,
very I'm gonna get a little. I'm not emotional, but what were you doing? I know Lori was in New York at the time, and she could see the smoke.
Right.
From the trade centers.
She said that yesterday.
But yes, or one of those days. But what were you guys? What was everybody doing? Do they remember when 9/11 happened?
I think that of course, if you were alive, I think everybody remembers the shock about the whole thing. The realization that we were definitely under attack.
First, we thought it was just a crash.
Yeah. But my thoughts were, everybody's got their stories about where they were. Lori said she was near New York. She could see the smoke. Cindy was in D.C. working when she realized her country was under attack. And she might, and you don't know. Once you realize that, you're kind of like, gosh, I could find myself in the middle of a war zone here. What if it's something like that? What's happening? What could happen? That's got to be it's got to give you pause, in the middle of all that chaos. Of course, you were in a high stress job that day because you were responsible for getting the information out to the people on a radio program.
I was the executive producer of a morning show in Washington, D.C. And we just happened to glance up at the TV in the studio and couldn't believe our eyes. That's when the South Tower, the World Trade Center, was on fire. American Airlines flight number 11 crashed into the into the South Tower at 8:46 a.m. And we were just kind of, did that really just happen? What went wrong? Oh my gosh, how could that have happened?
Right.
Some of our thoughts, those were some of the thoughts running through our head, like, oh my gosh, I wonder what happened. Why did the plane crash? And, I wonder if it had engine problems or whatever. Well, then at 9:03, as we're watching the South Tower on fire, flight number 175 hit the North Tower. I still can recall this, but I'm actually reading what I wrote like 5 years ago.
Right.
Or using my notes. We knew it, though, at that time. Everybody knew. Okay. The first hitting the South Tower was not an accident.
Yeah.
It's just, no. There's suddenly things became real. It's like, wow, why is the U.S. under attack? Who's doing this? Well, then at 9:37, flight number 77 flew directly into the Pentagon. And one of our listeners, his name was George. He was on the phone. He called a couple minutes before that plane crash actually happened and was going to chime in on what we were talking about, because we stayed on the air till 2:00 that day.
Yeah.
Our show started at 6 and we went on till, actually it was 5:30 is when it started. But we stayed on the air till 2 and we were talking about everything and what people were feeling and, wow. And what do you think this means? And, just getting people's opinions. That's what we were about that day. And he called in to chime in. Well, on the phone with him, while I was talking to him, he stopped mid-sentence and basically went, oh my God, a plane just flew directly over me into the Pentagon. I'm on Interstate 395 right now,
Right.
and it just went right over me and crashed. Well, at that point, we couldn't really let him go on the air and say that. He was not saying this on the air at the time. He was saying this to me because I would prep them ahead of time before they went on the air.
Right.
Well, we wanted to confirm the information that wasn't just something, we didn't want to just throw that out there if it hadn't happened. Well, Mickey Brown, she was our marketing director. She was at the Pentagon that day for a meeting, and she called in immediately and confirmed that a plane had just hit the Pentagon. So we let this guy, George, go on the air with us, and we talked about it on the air. And it was very sad. And then 10:03, flight 93 crashed in PA.
Right.
It was just such a surreal day that day.
It was. I was working at a radio station as well, and we were just finishing up the morning show. The morning show that I was on at that time, we finished up at 9.
Oh, okay.
And we started the day with a music hour. So, it went from, information, a little bit of music all morning long to an hour of music. And so that gave us a chance to step out of the studio and walk down the hall, get our thoughts together and do a couple of things. But we had to come back and do a short break, maybe 20, 25 minutes later after this long music sweep. Okay. And I can remember walking past one of the other studios, just like around here at East Carolina Media, somebody opened the door and says, oh my gosh, a plane just hit one of the World Trade Centers. And we're like, geez, that's just bizarre. So we walk into that studio and there's a television in there and you could see the hole in the first tower, and we were like, geez, our first thought was, okay, well, what happened? Was it a twin engine little plane or something? Like, you think somebody just made a terrible mistake and ended up going in there. So we thought that and we walked out of the studio. I was going back to my office and I heard the same guy yell, oh my God, another plane hit the other World Trade Center building. And the whole office just erupted. Everything just became a buzz. And it was just a blur for the rest of that day. And I can remember about maybe 40, 45 minutes later, I'm looking through the glass from one studio to the next. And my co-host, Angie Logan, who had been with me all morning long, had gone into another studio. And she was just sobbing. And that's when I realized how this was going to affect people. And this was just the beginning.
It was.
So just kind of crazy.
Well, Susan said she worked at a dental office near DC. Yeah, that's what you just put up there. And Victoria said her sister worked at the Census Bureau. So for hours she was worried about her.
Right.
And Perrin brought up, I believe, hold on here. Foy was the one that brought it up. The March to Remember today.
Yep. that's getting ready to happen.
8:30 is when everybody's meeting. So if you can hurry up and get your butt together and get down there. And if you don't want to walk, but you want to watch, they're going to start at Dare County EMS Station 1 and KDH Fire Department Station number 14. And the walk starts at 8:46. They're going to walk down somehow to get to the Wright Brothers Memorial. And then they're going to turn around and walk back. And they're asking you to wear something to honor all those who gave. Of course, bring your American flags. Cheer them on. You know, these guys are doing a great thing just so we don't forget. It's called March to Remember, September 11th.
Now we got about 3 minutes before we do Today in Music. Shelly, I don't think you know, everybody knows that Shelly just came into the studio. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. You're not working today?
Later on.
Later on? Okay. All right. Yeah. Do you have anything to add to our Patriot Day?
Well, it's interesting because sorry.
Let
me scoot. Because I, like you, I was on the air. Whenever 99.1 The Sound was on the air, down on Mania Waterfront, I was doing the morning show by myself. And so I was getting my news and stuff together, and I had the little TV on in my office. We didn't have one in the studio, but we had one in my office, which was right next door. So I'm getting my news and stuff, and I happened to look up just at the moment that they were showing it. And I was like, oh my God, what in the world? And next thing I know, all my remember the old news things that we used to have where they just
the AP machine?
Yes. And my AP machine just went crazy.
AP standing for Associated Press. And you had this antiquated machine that looked like a giant typewriter.
Yes.
And it would just print stuff from the Associated Press to your location. You could just rip it off and you'd have the news story.
And so all morning long I was ripping and reading, and I interrupted my music and stuff, and I don't even think I played music the rest of the morning.
Right.
We talked, I had people stopping by the studio and coming in with me, and people were just sobbing and crying and being upset, and then watching the second plane hit, and then everything in DC. And I mean, it was just, it's something where I'm sure you guys have already talked about this. People who are older, they know where they were when Kennedy was shot. We know where we were when 9/11 happened.
Yes.
And the after effects. And the guy that I was seeing that day who did bulkhead work and everything, he came home that evening not having seen anything on TV. And when he came in, he just stood there. He's this big, bulky guy, strong, muscular guy. And he walked in and he's like, what is going on? And I said, this is what's going on. And he stood there, he had his lunch pail and everything in his hand, and just started bawling. Like he just started sobbing like a little kid. And it was just, it was horrible.
Yep.
Just the devastation and everything. So, that's where I was.
Well, it's just such a weird, it's not weird, it's very normal, but we don't think about this except for maybe one day a year now. And it all comes rushing back.
Yeah.
And we talk a little bit about it. And maybe that's the purpose of this day, to do just that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
And we're going to do some bow time. Have a good day. All right.
Show your line now.
All right. Mike's up. Your station for the killer hits 102.5, The Shark, of course. It's David Bowie and Modern Love. Good morning to you, Bill and Cindy. Good morning. Killer hits all day. It is 8:23 on 9/11, 2024, 23 years ago today.
Just a quick reminder. There is a March to Remember, which is it's called September 11th. It's happening this morning. They're meeting at 8:30 at the Dare County EMS Station number 1, KDH Fire Department Station number 14, and they will start at 8:46 the march, and they're going to march to the Wright Brothers Monument and back. If you can't get out there and show your support actually walking and wearing something to honor all those that gave, please try to line up along the roadway on the sidewalk safely, or in your cars, honk, whatever, wave American flags and cheer these guys on.
Absolutely. It is 8:24 today. In music on the way in just a few, but your shark forecast looking like this.
It's going to be a mostly sunny one today, high 78, moderate risk of rip currents along the beaches today. Clear tonight, down to 70 for the coast, 62 inland, mostly sunny tomorrow, and a high of 80.
Right now, excuse me, right now we got 57 in Weeksville, 56 in Plymouth, and 65 in Nags Head at 102.5 The Shark.
And it is time for Today in Music.
It was 2001. Walking to work in New York City as a comic book illustrator, a fellow named Gerard Way witnessed the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. The day's events inspired him to start a band, which became known as My Chemical Romance.
No way.
Yeah, with Way becoming their lead singer.
Yeah, okay. No, with Way. No, yes, Way.
Exactly. 1996, David Bowie's single Telling Lies was released exclusively on the internet. It was the first time a new single by a major selling artist was released over the internet.
In 1968, Larry Graham of Sly and the Family Stone, he was arrested for possession of cannabis. Now, the group's TV appearance and hotel reservations were canceled as a result of that.
Wow.
In 1963, what was believed as the first bootleg album appeared. It's called A Collection of Bob Dylan songs entitled The Great White Wonder.
Wow.
Music birthdays today. Quite a few. There was something in the water on this day,
I would
multiple years.
say so.
We have Charles Kelly, who's a singer with the band Lady A, the country band.
Country band, yeah.
43 years today. Johnny Buckland, he's a guitarist with the band Coldplay. He is 47. So is Ludacris, the rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 47 today, too. Harry Connick Jr.
Right.
He
Former
is-
American Idol judge.
He was. He also has a great Christmas album.
And he's had Hope Floats acting.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, he was in Hope Floats with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, sure.
I forgot about
Mhm.
that. He is 57.
Okay. Moby is celebrating a birthday today. Moby's real name is Richard Melville Hall.
Okay.
And he's 59 years old.
Alrighty.
Tommy Shaw he's a guitar player with
Styx,
Styx, is
yeah.
71. And Mickey Hart, the drummer with the Grateful Dead, is 81 years old today.
All right.
And that's Today in Music. That means one thing. It is bow time.
Yes, it
a
is.
chance to be a winner of a 2-piece chicken dinner from Bojangles. All you have to do is this right here.
You need to text us the word world. 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 Text it to 252-441-1025. Not quite sure where that came from, but yeah, world.
World Trade Center, maybe?
World Trade Center. There you go. World Trade Center. Exactly. Yeah, okay. I apologize. Never forget,
No,
but for some reason I forgot that.
Well, it's an easy one there.
Different forgetting.
It was just one word.
All right, text it to us 252-441-1025.
All right, news and weather together within 10 more killer hits coming up.
By the way, guys, your bonus word for
Sorry.
today is do all one word. It's not in there yet, so actually no, we can't do that. Oh wait, I do have to put it in there real quick. Let me see if I can put it in there, because I think Miss Lori came up with this word yesterday, and I think there's a way I can edit this. Hold on. Is it letting me? No, it might not let me.
Is everybody still with us? So we've got Lori saying she's having some
That's earlier.
connectivity problems.
Yesterday, our internet
Yeah.
went out. Hold on here. Let me see if I can put one in here. Will it let me? Single
Okay.
order phrase. Yeah, I know. I have to totally redo this. Hold on one second. This will just take me 30 seconds. Okay. Hang with me, guys. Hang with me. Don't you count. Don't put me under pressure. That's
All
not
right.
funny.
Mike is there. All
All
right.
All right.
All
Hold
right.
on.
Movie quote, Mike. Ray. They will come, Ray. Trust me. They will come.
Build it. They will come. All right.
Where were they coming to? Iowa. Remember that?
Uh-huh. All right, hold on. Two more seconds.
28.
Hold on. Oh, shut your pie hole. That's not funny. Shut your pie hole.
That's
Hold on,
right.
I gotta
Field of
do.
Dreams. Yes, absolutely.
And yeah, what's his face? Because of that, that's the sad part.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. James
Earl
Earl Jones just passed
Jones.
away. All right, guys. Your bonus word for the No Bummer Summer Seaside Vacation Getaway
Is-
Phase 3. Love. LOVE. Let's love our country.
There
and
you go.
love our people that, you know. Anyway, okay. It must be just you. McFly. Hello, McFly. No. Oh, here we go, hon. I knew I would chime in.
Okay.
Morning show. I always had the Today Show on TV studio, and all of a sudden I
Right.
saw the first tower hit. We were NBC News affiliate, interrupted the music, cut that song off, opened up the mic, and said something like, "Not good is happening in New York City."
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yep.
You know.
No, don't send love here. Love goes to 252-441-1025.
Gary.
That's where you send love, Gary.
Yeah. Hunt, that's we all have our story,
Yep.
you know, and that's we eventually dumped the music for the rest of the day too. We were a country station,
Mm-hmm.
and we had no affiliation with a news network at that time.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't run any national news.
We didn't either.
So our engineer said, "Look, this is a state of emergency. I'm going to give you what feed you want: NBC, CBS, ABC.
Something.
You know, we'll beg for forgiveness later. I don't think they're going to care."
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot which one we picked. So we put them up, and we let them run the all day. When they would go to commercials, when and if they did, we would play a few commercials or
Yep.
turn it down and talk.
We stopped.
Yeah, that's the way
like I
we
said,
went.
we stopped the music almost instantly once the second tower was hit. And at that point, the Jack Diamond Morning Show, and we stayed on the air till at least 2:00.
Yeah.
And then finally had somebody come in and take over because we're like, okay, nothing new has developed other than what's already happened.
Yeah.
The towers had collapsed.
Right.
You know, it was just total chaos, and we didn't know what else we could say at that point. I mean, we had pretty much said what we could say.
And did you remember walking outside of the building that you worked in and just looking at the sky? And remember how clear and blue it was, and there's no contrails, and you're in DC. No planes.
Oh, nothing. It was so calm. It was weird.
It was quiet.
I just heard, what if I was turning country, said William. No, he worked for a country station. No.
Starting rumors, are you, Gare? Gone country.
Yeah. Well, a lot of stations went off the air because I know, like, a lot of radio. Well, and the station that I worked for, the call letters were WRQX and WABC.
Mm-hmm.
Was our sister station in New York.
Right.
Their tower, their antenna was on the top of the World Trade Center.
I wondered about that.
There was a lot of towers that were on the top of that World Trade Center.
Gotcha.
So a lot of the networks up there, that's why cell phones weren't working, because there were so many things on top of that World Trade Center. Yeah. Well, both of them. It was just insane. And then, like I said, I remember it was not even a month after. Well, maybe it was, because it was, no, it was actually like October 6th, I think. So it wasn't even a month later. A couple of the people from the morning show that I was on, we went to New York for a producer's workshop. And when we got there, we went to WABC. They said, just go down there, tell them who you are, you know, because the actual WABC studios were in Rockefeller Center.
Gotcha.
I think. No, that's not right. They were in the Lori can answer this.
Chrysler Building?
No, what's above Madison Square Gardens? That building.
Oh, I don't know. I just thought Madison Square Garden was Madison Square Garden.
No, there's a building that goes over top of it.
Okay.
I'm thinking, yeah, that's where the ABC studio. That's where WABC studios were. We'll let Shelley know. That's funny. They were right above Union Station in Madison Square Gardens.
Right.
And but I don't remember what the building was called. But anyway, so we went up to ABC Studios, where at the time Rush Limbaugh was still alive. But we went up there and they said, use your credentials and you'll be able to, if you want to get a closer look, so you can report on it, you know, when you get back to Washington, D.C. They didn't work for a little. It's not the Chrysler Building. I don't think. No,
I don't think it might be. I don't know.
I don't think. No, Lori could tell us. Lori, what's the building? Madison Square Gardens building. I don't think they did. I think a lot of the cell phones went out, and that's why people weren't getting in touch with their loved ones.
Well, you know,
I don't know that for a fact, but I remember something about that.
You know, if you think back 23 years, the cell phone world as we knew it, each tower, had it described to me like this: has so many little. It's like a bus. Has so many seats on the bus, and once you've made a connection
once that
on
bus
that tower,
is full,
you're clogged. It's it's a traffic jam.
Yep.
And that's probably a lot of what was happening.
I'm thinking
everybody's trying to call out of the city to talk to their mom or their dad or their kid or their something, and everybody's trying to call into the city for the same reason.
And it was just
Yeah.
I think it was just an overload, basically. Yeah. Well, it's like when concert tickets would go on sale,
right?
And
Gary agrees.
Computers would crash.
Yep.
Yeah, so many calls. Exactly. That's exactly what it was. But I remember people saying they couldn't make phone calls. But it was just, but yeah. So like the October 6th or whatever it was, I could go back and look and tell you exactly when it was. But yes, off. Look at her.
Wow.
They went dead. Yes, they stopped broadcasting. But we went to Ground Zero, and you could still. It was the pictures that you see with the computers hanging out of the building and paper still flying around and the smoke smoldering, and I saw all that. I could smell that. That was a smell that you can't describe. We also went to whatever's at the top of the, I want to say it's called the Rainbow Room.
The
hold on.
Windows of,
no, Windows of the World was in the Trade Center.
That was in the Trade Center.
No, I wasn't in that. Hold on. Rainbow Room Restaurant, Rockefeller Center. I think that's it. I don't think. No, not Top of the Rock.
The Top of the
Rainbow
Rock.
Room at Rockefeller Center. Yeah, it's the original home of the New York Glamour and Entertainment. We had dinner there that night, the Rainbow Room. And I know you can't see. Shoot. Private events, private dining, history. Okay. I don't know how we got tickets there, but or whatever. We got to eat there, but I guess it was open as a restaurant. But you're not going to be able to see this picture. Actually, maybe you can't. Okay. That is looking out the window at the Rainbow Room. That's the skyline of New York. I mean, that's overlooking New York.
Okay. I got you.
And we could see the smoke coming, like still rising up from Ground Zero, from where we were.
Wow.
And we were, I don't know how many blocks north, or I guess it would have been north. I don't know.
That's just crazy.
Yep. Absolutely. It was just and that made it even more surreal because the fact that you could smell it and you could, I mean, the dust, it was just, the dust was still on a bunch of cars, but the computers hanging out of windows. Now, that was in one of the shorter trade centers because there's a whole complex there, and they have 7 buildings, I think. Does that sound right?
Sounds about right.
Well, one of them was a little bit shorter.
Okay.
And literally there was computers that were still plugged in, that because of the collapse of the buildings, it blew out the windows and stuff like that. But there were computers hanging from their cords out the window. It was just wow.
Hard to believe what you were seeing.
Yeah.
That's what comes to mind.
Yeah.
Hard to believe what you're looking at.
It was an eye opener. It was a wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we did not fly to New York. We actually took the train.
Yeah, there you go.
But it was
was a whole nother chapter there. The uneasiness about getting on an airplane after that.
And
it was real.
And that started the whole TSA and going through. I mean, I remember when my aunt would come visit us from California, she would fly into Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C. And we would walk to her gate and hug her goodbye before she got on the plane.
Wow.
And then they had a observation deck that once she got on her went down the little, or got on, they had those little weird bus things at Dulles Airport. They were really weird looking. They would go forward or backwards.
Right.
And then they had this like chimney thing in the middle of them. And it was just a mobile, and they had really big wheels on them, and they would raise up and you would just walk right out of that into the airport or into the airplane. But I think they still have something like that there. But we would watch her get on that, and then we'd go up on the observation deck, watch her little bus go over to her airplane, and then we'd watch her airplane take off. It was such a different world. And then seeing people when they would get off the computer, when they'd come out of the gate, like coming down the hallway, you'd get to hug them as soon. You didn't have to wait for them to walk, 5 miles to the other side of the airport before you finally got to see them.
That's exactly right.
Oh, they were breaking windows by throwing. There was that too. Yes. but this was, I think this was, I mean, just the collapse. It was just,
Yeah.
And some of the steel beams were just, just, yeah.
Tough to look at.
It was very, it was, wow.
Well, it was a tough day on so many levels. I mean, different people had different jobs. Firemen in the town I was working at up in Central Virginia. By the time I was leaving the building to come home, they were in fire trucks checking, just checking the manholes and checking. They were just
everything.
They were just checking everything to make sure that they didn't know what to do. How widespread was the attack? And
right.
I was working in the city of Charlottesville on 9/11 was where our studios were. And in relation to everything, it was like, it really wasn't that far from where all this was happening. Cindy was in DC. She was right in the middle of it.
I was in Washington, DC.
And I'm sure, I don't know if you could hear from it, sirens had been going everywhere.
There were,
there were constant sirens.
There were sirens. We could hear them off in the distance. And it's just, I was a little bit away from the Pentagon. I mean, I wasn't right next door to the Pentagon. The Pentagon was a little bit more south.
Right.
But I was still, I mean, there was Friendship Heights Fire Department. There was Chevy Chase Fire Department. There was they were all
doing their thing,
heading to help out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Crazy. Well, I don't think we have to tell you what to do today. It's something I think if you're an American, you're going to think about this. If you were alive when it happened, you're going to remember it. I don't think that collectively we'll ever forget, or will be just a little bit more. It'll be faded over time, like Pearl Harbor has become.
Pearl Harbor, like
it's a big difference from when I was a kid to JFK. A big moment in history for our country that always will be in the history books. But one day it will sort of fade away slightly, but that doesn't mean that we don't forget.
Yep.
That's for sure. So anyway, it's sad in one way. It is also inspiring, I think, to realize that we made it through it as a country. It's a tough thing politically. The discourse is still there, and we're still, being Americans. Some of us think this way and some of us think this way, and somehow we have to stick together and work it all out.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
As sad as that day was, I was very proud to be an American, though.
Yeah.
Because we did not let that bring us down and take us down. We came together as a country. We did what needed to be done to help others.
We did.
We held our heads high saying, no, you're not going to do this to us.
That's right.
And just remember, God bless all the heroes and the families whose lives changed on this day.
Absolutely.
And of course, God bless the USA.
Amen to that one. All right. Heading out to Iowa to get our cue from the great Mike. What you got for us today, buddy?
I agree with Perrin. Too bad it didn't last. People just need to get a boot shoved up their butt once again and remember that,
that Toby Keith
we are
thing.
the United States of America.
That's
united,
right.
not separated, not. No.
All right. I don't know what Mike's got cooking. We'll give him about 30 more seconds, but we're going to roll some credits
And don't
here.
forget, 2.5 minutes away is when the first tower was hit.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what we're going to do?
What are we going to do?
We're going to sign off with that. So once he gives us the credits, we'll.
Yeah.
So I'm going to remove us.
Okay.
And leave us with